Hello student armies, welcome back to Diksha Vedantu channel. This is your master teacher Navya and today we will be starting with the biological classification chapter. Okay, wherein we'll study about the classification of living organism. Right? Okay, so yeah, before starting today's session, once I would like to confirm that am I audible? Is my PPT clear, students? Let me check once. Yes. Okay. Fine. Yeah. And wish you all a very happy Yugadi. Right? Okay. So, and one more thing, students, like you all know that Vedantu Offline Center is being opened throughout the nation. So, if you are a student who want personal attention, you can connect with us, right? And, the seats are limited. So, get your admission done as soon as possible. Okay, for much more details, you can contact this number. Okay, regarding the admission to these offline centers. Fine. Okay, so yeah, let's get started with our today's session. Okay, so already in your class 9th, you had studied, right, the diversity in living organism chapter, wherein you studied about the 2 kingdom classification, 5 kingdom classification, right? And then you studied about plant kingdom and animal kingdom a bit in depth, right? So now in your class 11th, yes, you will be studying about these classification in depth. Okay, so your plant kingdom itself, see in your class 9th, the plant kingdom, animal kingdom, that the 2 kingdom classification, everything was there in one particular chapter. You studied that under one particular chapter. But now in your class 11th, you're gonna study them in different chapters. Your plant kingdom is one separate chapter. Your animal kingdom is a separate chapter. Whereas kingdom Monera, Protista, fungi, that fall under this biological classification chapter. Okay, and in case if you're a student who is preparing for NTSC exam, Olympiad exam, and also if you're preparing for NEET, then this session is going to be useful for you all. Okay, students. So yeah, and also before starting today's session, let me tell you all that in case if you have any doubts, feel free to comment in the comment section. Fine? Okay. So yeah, let's get started with the first. We'll understand, I'll just explain briefly about 2 kingdom classification, 5 kingdom classification, and then we'll study about viruses and lichen. This itself is a separate group. Okay, and then we'll study about kingdom Monera, kingdom Protista, as well as kingdom fungi in this one particular session. Okay, so like you all know that the 2 kingdom classification was the first classification that was done by Linnaeus in 1758. So first of all, why should we classify these living organisms? Why is it important? Is it necessary to classify living organism? You have already studied in your class 9th in the chapter diversity in living organism, right? Wherein I have already covered that chapter as well. Okay, so when I was doing the chapter, the diversity in living organism, I have already explained the importance of classification. Right? Why we were classifying living organism? See, you all know, right, that see when the earth was formed, when the planet was formed, there was no life form in the beginning. Later on, slowly it started developing, and initially the living organism, it emerged as a unicellular organism, and gradually it went through lot of evolution, and today the living organism that you're seeing in your surrounding is the complexed one, the complexed form, right? So the every life form has undergone evolution, right? And like you all know that, see, there are millions of living organisms in our planet, right? And each and every living organism plays very important role in maintaining the ecological balance. The maintaining this ecological balance is very, very important. Okay, and even if one life form is missing, or even if one life form vanishes, then it will affect this ecological balance, right? Therefore, each and every life form plays very important role, and that makes us, that's why it is important for us also to study those living organisms. Okay, clear with that? But then, like I've already told you that, see, there are millions of living organisms, and it is highly impossible to study each and every life form, right? Therefore, what these scientists have done, they have classified the living organism into different groups. Okay, now for example, let's say, see, your aquatic animals. How do you differentiate aquatic animals with the terrestrial animals? How do you differentiate them from the terrestrial animals? See, aquatic animals, they live underwater, and they utilize dissolved oxygen, right? So now let's say that there are fishes, and there are n number of, even aquatic plants are there, right? So what scientists have done is that they have classified living organism into different groups, and in one particular group, the living organism that are placed will share certain features in common. Okay, such organisms are grouped in one category. And now if you study the features of that particular group, that is sufficient. It is equivalent you studying the each and every life form that fall under that group. Okay, so by classifying living organism, it becomes easy for us to understand the each and every life form that is present on earth. It will also help us in understanding the evolution, right? How that particular living organism has been evolved over period, and then we'll get to know more about its habitat, its the what type of food they eat, their mode of nutrition and all that. Okay, and then it will be helpful for research purpose also. That is the importance of classifying living organism, right? So who is the first person to classify living organism, the life form? It is Linnaeus. Just a second, students. Yeah. So it was Linnaeus was the first person to classify the living organism into two categories. How did he classify? On what basis did he classify? So he classified certain living organism into one particular group. Those living organism who survive on land. Whereas on the other hand, the second group had those living organism whose habitat is water. Okay, and third one is, that's how he classified. Okay, fine. So here, and according to two kingdom classification, all the plants were grouped under kingdom Plantae and all under kingdom Animalia. Were grouped under kingdom Animalia, and all the animals were grouped under kingdom Animalia. Okay, fine. And then R.H. Whitaker is the one who proposed five kingdom classification, and this is widely accepted even today. Okay, so here he classified the whole living world into the following five kingdom. One is, like I told you, Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae and Animalia, right? So in kingdom Monera, the living organism which is made up of prokaryotic cell fall under, it is unicellular prokaryotic cell, falls under kingdom Monera. Whereas in case of kingdom Protista, usually the unicellular eukaryotic organism falls under kingdom Protista. Whereas in case of kingdom Fungi, the multicellular and also their mode of nutrition varies. Here they are heterotrophic. Here it can be heterotrophic, it can be autotrophic as well. And then comes your kingdom Plantae. Here the cell is eukaryotic cell, and the cell has got cell wall, and their mode of nutrition is autotrophs. In case of kingdom Animalia, what happens? Yes, these are multicellular. And these kingdom fungi, plantae, animalia, all these are multicellular. Fine. And in kingdom Animalia also, what happens? Yes, they are multicellular and cells are eukaryotic. And the mode of nutrition is heterotroph, plus these animal cells lack cell wall. Okay. Fine. So yeah, now I want you all to answer to this. See, which of the following scientists has provided two kingdom classification? Is it R.H. Whitaker or Carolus Linnaeus? It is Carolus Linnaeus. Option B is the right answer. And one more thing, students, sorry, in the beginning I told you that the Carolus Linnaeus is the first person to classify. Actually, it is Aristotle. Sorry for that. Aristotle was the first person to classify living organism. He grouped them into three categories. One, those animal which live on land, and third group had those animal which live underwater, and third, those animals or those life form which are able to fly. Okay, that this classification was the first classification that was given by Aristotle. Okay, but then this classification was not accepted. It's because, now look at crocodile. The crocodile, it can live underwater also and it can live on land also, right? He didn't consider such criteria. And also those animals that are living underwater, their food habit varies, their body organization varies, right? So it didn't consider all that. That's why the Aristotle classification failed. And then comes your Carolus Linnaeus classification, that is two kingdom classification. That is the plant kingdom and animal kingdom. And before that it was R.H. Whitaker, he proposed five kingdom classification, and that is widely accepted. Okay, fine. Okay, so now we'll start with five kingdom classification a bit in depth. See here, the main criteria in the five kingdom classification are as follows. See here, on what basis? See here, the R.H. Whitaker, he divided these living organism into five groups, right? Into five categories, right? On what basis did he classify is the question. Okay, see, one is based on, it was based on the cell, the nature of the cell, that whether it is a prokaryotic cell or eukaryotic cell, and second one is whether it is a unicellular or multicellular, and also body organization as well as mode of nutrition. Okay, so here on what basis? See, on the basis of presence or absence of membrane bound organelles. Nothing but, see, if the cell lacks well-defined nucleus, which means to say that the nucleus is not surrounded by any nuclear membrane, then the well-defined, then what happens? The genetic material, they are not present within the nucleus. Instead, they are present in a region which is called as nucleoid. They are compactly arranged in one particular region, and that is called as nucleoid. And along with that, in those cells where the nucleus is not well defined, in those cells, even the cell organelles are not well, they don't have any membrane bound cell organelles. Such cell is called as prokaryotic cell. On the other hand, there is eukaryotic cell where the nucleus is well defined, which means to say that the nucleus is surrounded by nuclear membrane. Along with that, it has got cell organelles which are membrane bound. Okay, so based on the presence or absence of membrane bound, there are two types of cell. One is prokaryotic and the other one is eukaryotic. On this basis, the classification is done. Okay, and also on the basis of cellularity, like I told you, whether that organism is made up of single cell or is it made up of multi-cell, whether it is a multicellular organism or whether it is a unicellular organism. So based on cellularity also the classification is made. Okay, and then based on the presence or absence of the cell wall. Like I told you, in kingdom Animalia, nothing but the animal cells will not have cell wall. Okay, whereas plant cells has got cell wall, and even your fungi, right? And on the basis of mode of nutrition, that is autotrophic, heterotrophic, whereas fungi it is saprophytic. Autotrophic, here the plants, they prepare their own food, whereas heterotrophic, here the organism, it depends on, the life form depends on another living organism for its food. Okay, they are heterotrophs, whereas saprophytes are those organisms which derives their food from dead and decomposed material. Such organisms, they fall under fungi category, and their mode of nutrition is saprophytic. Okay, clear with that? Fine. So now I want you all to answer to this question. In which of the following kingdom the membrane bound cell organelles are absent? Is it Protista or Monera? See, already I have explained you this in class 9th itself when I was doing diversity in living organism chapter. So, and even just before 10 minutes I explained you that which type of living organisms are present in Monera and which type of living organisms are present in Protista. I have already explained. So, it is, what is the right answer? Can anyone guess? Come on, comment your answers in the comment section. It is Monera. Okay, Monera has got unicellular prokaryotic cells. The organism which are made up of unicellular prokaryotic cell, whereas Protista, it has got those organisms whose body is made up of, it is a single cell only, but a eukaryotic cell. Okay, fine. And next, you can see the phylogenetic relations are the relationship that shows how far back two species shared a common ancestor. So like I've already told you that by classifying living organism, you can also study the evolution of that particular life form, how it has been evolved. Okay, nothing but it is the phylogenetic relationship. How do you define what is this phylogenetic relationship? The relationship that shows how far back two species shared a common ancestor. That is your phylogenetic relationship. Okay, fine. So now the living organism, this is how it is classified, the 5 kingdom classification overview. See here, prokaryotes, unicellular, it fall under kingdom Monera. Whereas it can be then eukaryotic cell. In case if it is unicellular, then it falls under kingdom Protista. Eukaryotic cell but multicellular, and if the cell has got cell wall, then it falls under kingdom Plantae as well as kingdom Fungi. But then kingdom Fungi mode of nutrition varies, that is saprophytic, whereas kingdom Plantae, the mode of nutrition is autotrophs. That's how they are again classified. Whereas if it is eukaryotic cell, multicellular, and their mode of nutrition is heterotroph and they don't have any cell wall, then it falls under kingdom Animalia. This is the overview of the 5 kingdom classification. Okay. Hello, hi Ankita. Happy Yugadi. Okay. So how can you explain the term phylogenetic relationship? Maybe not. Let's complete the session and after that. Okay. So students, I want you to comment your answers in the comment section. That what is phylogenetic relationship? How can you define this phylogenetic relationship? Okay, fine. Okay, so now I want you all to answer to this. Now, the group comprising the smallest cellular organism which represent the oldest kingdom of phylogenetic relationship is it Monera or is it Protista, is it fungi or is it Plantae? Which one? So among these 4, which kingdom has got the simplest living organism? It is kingdom Monera. Option A is the right answer. Then what is the main basis of classification in 5 kingdom system? Is it the structure of cell membrane, or is it the structure of cell wall, or is it the asexual reproduction, or is it the mode of nutrition? So what is the main basis of classification in five kingdom system? A. Okay, it is the mode of nutrition. See here we are not considering the structure of cell membrane. We are neither considering the structure of cell wall. Even it is the five kingdom classification is not based on the reproduction mode, the sexual or asexual reproduction. So your correct answer is option D. Okay, fine. Next, who proposed five kingdom classification? Is it Carolus Linnaeus, or is it R.H. Whitaker, or is it Hooke, or is it Robert Brown? Who proposed this five kingdom classification? Comment your answer in the comment section. Who proposed this five kingdom classification? Gaurav, can you say? It is R.H. Whitaker, option B. Okay, fine. In five kingdom classification, the unicellular green algae are included in the kingdom. See, it is unicellular, fine, green algae, which means to say that, okay, these are unicellular organism and it is autotrophs. And the unicellular organism is present in, is it in, see, not in kingdom fungi. Because kingdom fungi, the mode of nutrition is saprophytic. Okay, and it cannot be included in kingdom plantae also. Why? It's because plants, they are multicellular organism. Whereas here it is mentioned as unicellular organism. So it is not even plant. Kingdom plantae, neither kingdom animalia. So which one? See here, is it prokaryote or is it protista, monera? Option D, eukaryote. Which is the right answer? It is protista, because see, in monera it is unicellular, it was prokaryotic cell, unicellular prokaryotic cell, whereas algae, the green algae has got eukaryotic cell. The green algae has got eukaryotic cell and it is unicellular, therefore it is placed in kingdom protista. Okay, fine. Which of the following is not included in the two kingdom classification? Monera, protista, both A and B, and plantae. What is the right answer? Which of the following is not included in the two kingdom classification? See, your two kingdom classification has got kingdom plantae and kingdom animalia. So, monera and protista is not included. Therefore, both. Option C is the right answer. Both A and B. Okay, fine. So yeah, now we'll move on to virus and lichen. Yes, prokaryotic cell is, see here, see prokaryotic, when I say prokaryotic, the cell, it is about the nature of the cell. Whereas unicellular is whether, see, I'll show you. It is the cellularity. Okay. See here, when I say, you just can't say it can be always prokaryotic is a unicellular, okay, fine. But then algae, I told you there what was mentioned, algae, green algae was there. Green algae, you know, the mode of nutrition of green algae is it is autotrophic, right? Which means to say that they prepare their own food via photosynthesis. So now, you know that all eukaryotic cell can perform, only eukaryotic cell can perform photosynthesis. Why? Because to perform photosynthesis, chloroplast is required. And what is chloroplast? It is a membrane bound cell organelle. So where do you see membrane bound cell organelle? In eukaryotic cell, right? And what was the question asked? See here, unicellular is mentioned, but then it is asking green algae is there. Green algae is nothing but it is eukaryotic cell. Because the green algae prepares their own food through photosynthesis, which means to say that they have chloroplast in them, which means to say that the cell has got membrane bound cell organelle. Okay, let me show you the overview of this 5 kingdom classification. See, you can see in this prokaryotes, but then unicellular organism, it falls under kingdom Monera. Okay, and then eukaryotes, and it can be eukaryotic cell, it can be unicellular also, it can be multicellular also. In case if it is unicellular eukaryote, then it falls under kingdom Protista. Okay, in case it is multicellular and eukaryotic cell, then again next what will they consider? They will check if the cell has got cell wall or not. In case the cell wall is present, then again they will check the mode of nutrition. In case if the mode of nutrition is autotroph, then they will fall under kingdom Plantae. In case if the mode of nutrition is heterotroph and the cell has got cell wall, then it falls under kingdom Fungi. Okay, and in case let's say eukaryotic cell is a multicellular organism without cell wall, then it falls under kingdom Animalia. Okay students, clear with that? So don't get confused. When green algae is there, green algae will prepare their own food via photosynthesis, which means to say that they have chloroplast in them, which means to say that they are eukaryotic cell and they fall under Protista. Clear with that? Okay, so yeah, now let's start with the virus and lichen. Okay, so now what are the 5 kingdoms of R.H. Whittaker's classification? Can you comment in the comment section what are the 5 kingdoms of R.H. Whittaker's classification? It's very simple, right? Okay, so now why do viruses and lichen do not belong to any kingdom? See, viruses as well as lichen. What is lichen? Can anyone say what is lichen? Where do you see them mostly? Where do you get to see this lichen mostly? See, these two does not belong to any kingdom. Out of that 5 kingdom classification, these two does not belong to any kingdom. Right? So let's understand why they don't belong to any kingdom. Okay, so the first one is virus. See, the virus, like you all know, it is infectious agent which is made up of nucleic acid. It can be either DNA or RNA, and that is present within this protein like structure which is called as capsid. Okay, so the DNA or RNA is present within this structure. That is, what is that structure made up of? This structure is made up of capsid. It is made up of protein which is called as capsid. Okay, and then these protein subunits, they are arranged in helical or polyhedral geometric form. See here, it can be the head. This is the head part of the virus. So it can be in this shape, or else it can be in this shape as well, or it can be helical also, or it can be enveloped as well. So your COVID virus, the COVID virus has got which type of the capsid? Can anyone comment in the comment section that COVID virus has got which type of capsid? You all have seen, right, the structure of that COVID virus? Only coat of membrane and find RNA, DNA. I didn't get you, Gaurav. Can you repeat it? What are you saying? Okay, so it is this one, right? Okay, and then they have one more thing. See, they have no nucleus. One more thing, see, the viruses, they don't have any nucleus, they don't have cell organelles, no cytoplasm, no cell membrane, nothing. They are a cellular. See, you have seen the structure, it has got head part and it has got tail region. Okay, within that head only, the nucleic acid is present. Some viruses are, they contain DNA as genetic material, and certain viruses contain RNA as their genetic material. Yes, Gaurav, it is enveloped one. Yes. Okay. So what happens is that and you all know, right, it is not that easy to, design a medicine for viral infection. Why? The reason is very simple. See, like I told you, the viruses, they don't have anything. They don't have nucleus. They don't have organelle, cytoplasm, nothing. What they carry is only the the genetic material, either DNA or RNA. Okay, so the thing is, it's because they don't have any cellular machinery. So when the viruses are present outside in the sense, let's say in this atmosphere, let's say if there is a virus, it will be present as a dead form. It behaves like as if it is dead, because it does not have any nucleus or cell organelle or cytoplasm, right? But then when the virus enters into human body, or not only human body, when it enters into host, what it does is that first it will infect. It will infect. How will it enter? Let me explain you with the help of this. Now let's say that this is the cell. So what happens is that first this leg part, it will inject the cell. And then finally what happens? The nucleic acid that is present in this capsid will be injected into the host of the cell. And once the nucleic acid, it can be the DNA or RNA of the virus, enters into the host, then what happens? Using the host machinery, those genetic material will multiply. It will multiply, and then it will, derive all the energy from the host. That's how the host will become weak. So in general, the viruses, they appear dead when they are present outside, but it behaves like as if it is alive when it enters into the host. Why? Because it will utilize all the host machinery for its life cycle. Okay, clear with that? Fine. And then see, they are inert outside their specific host. They are inert. Like I told you, they don't. Yes, Garo, they replicate within the host body. Okay, when they're present outside, see, they're inert. They behave like as if they are dead. But when they're inside, they hijack the host cell's machinery and they start making copies of themselves. Nothing but, like you have told, it is they replicate. Okay. And then these were found to be these viruses, they are smaller than bacteria, because they pass through the bacteria proof filter also. And you would have heard about this, right? Bacteriophage. What is bacteriophage? Bacteriophage is also a virus. The virus which will infect the bacteria. So even bacteria, which is a microorganism, can be infected by virus. So such viruses are called as bacteriophage, which means to say that these viruses are smaller than bacteria. Okay. Now the viruses causes certain diseases like mumps, smallpox, herpes, influenza, AIDS in human. These are the diseases that is actually caused by viruses. Okay, that's why see, viruses, they don't have cell wall, they don't have cell membrane, they don't have nucleus, they only have genetic material. That's why the viruses, they don't belong to any kingdom, any of the 5 kingdom. Okay. Fine. See, in plants also, see, the symptoms can be, that is in human. Viruses, they infect human, they infect plants, and they infect bacteria also, like I told you. So in plants, they cause leaf rolling and curling, yellowing and vein clearing, dwarfing and stunt growth, because of which the cultivation will be, affected. Right? The viruses also causes certain plant diseases. Right? So yeah, now the size of the viruses are, is it less than bacteria or more than bacteria? Is it lesser than bacteria or is it more than bacteria? The size of the virus. Are they smaller or bigger than bacteria? Yes, they are lesser than bacteria. Okay. Now moving on to lichen. So now you understood, right, that why virus does not belong to any of the 5 kingdom, right? So now let's see lichen. See, lichen, it is actually, algae. Along with algae, there is fungi also. So this algae and fungi, they are surviving in a symbiotic relationship with each other. Okay, it is the symbiotic association of algae and fungi. Where do you see lichen? Mostly you get to see lichen in the river banks or in those regions where the moisture content is very high, right? Okay. So here the thing is, like I told you, see, algae, they prepare food for fungi. Whereas fungi, it provides shelter to the algae and it absorbs mineral, nutrients and water for its partner. See here, algae, it prepares its own food. Yes, they are like best friend kind of thing. Yes, see here, algae, it performs photosynthesis. For it to perform photosynthesis, it requires raw material also, right? That raw material will be provided by fungi, and then algae will prepare food, and then the food will be shared with the fungi also, and along with it, the fungi will provide the shelter, right? Okay, and also you know the lichen, it can be used as an indicator. It can be used as the indicator to check if there is or else to check the extent of air pollution, I would say. Now let's say that, see, this is the normal color of the lichen. It is some olive green color, right? Now let's say that if the air is very much polluted, then the lichen turns yellowish brown in color. It's because the lichen will die. So that indicates that the air pollution is very high. So this lichen can be used as a good pollution indicator as well. Okay, fine. Yes, they share yes, nutrients. Yeah. Now, which of the following components of lichen prepare food? Is it fungi or algae? It is option B, algae. Okay. So now, what is the difference between algae and fungal component of lichen? And then, why are viruses not included in the any of 5 kingdom? See, I told you that why viruses does not belong to any of the 5 kingdom. That reason I have told you. Now, what is the difference between algae and fungi? See, forget about lichen. See, algae falls under kingdom Plantae. Right. See, the algae, for example, Spirogyra, they are not unicellular, they are multicellular. There are certain algae, green algae, yes, it is unicellular, eukaryotic is also there, multicellular eukaryotic is also there, which has got cell wall. Right. And then fungi, but the thing is their mode of nutrition, the algae's mode of nutrition is, it is autotrophic. Right. And then whereas fungal, their mode of nutrition is, see, it is heterotrophic, right? And majority of the fungi, they obtain their food. Not this lichen, the fungi that is present in lichen is not obtaining from the dead material, but then majority of the fungus, they obtain their nutrients from the dead and decomposed organisms, right? Decomposed matter, right? So the fungus has got the fungi. It has their mode of nutrition is saprophytic, which is a type of heterotrophic, whereas algae, it is autotrophic. They prepare their own food, right? So that is, see, what is the difference? That is the difference. Their mode of nutrition varies. Okay, and algae, it can be unicellular eukaryote and it can be multicellular eukaryotic also. The green algae is unicellular, whereas the Spirogyra, which is also a type of algae, is a multicellular. Okay, clear with that? Fine. Next. Okay. So now, which of the following is considered as neither prokaryotic nor eukaryotic? Is it fungi, or is it bacteria, or is it monera, or is it viruses? Which is neither considered as prokaryote nor eukaryote? What is the right answer for this? Option D, yes, virus. Yes, correct. And then, hi Krishna, good afternoon. Now, the virus envelope is known as, is it nucleoprotein, or is it virion, or is it capsid, or is it core? Hi Neha Revankar, hi, happy Yugadi to all of you. Yeah, option D. It is option C. I told you it is capsid. Okay. Fine. Next, lichens are described as the indicator of Is it soil pollution, or is it air pollution, or is it water pollution, or is it agricultural productivity? Option D? No, not option D. See, I explained, right? Lichen as it appears olive green in color, but in that polluted region it turns yellowish brown in color. So whether it is indicating air pollution or soil pollution or water pollution? No, it is not water pollution, it is actually air pollution. Okay, it is air pollution. Yes. Okay. What did lichen not find a place in a classification? It is not what, it is why. Why did lichen didn't find a place in five kingdom classification? Because lichen is got, yes, okay, Krishna, you called it as goody powder. Happy goody powder. Yeah. Okay. So it's because the lichen, here it is, I told you, it is the symbiotic association of algae and fungi. Right? It is algae and fungi. That's why here both algae and fungi are present in lichen. That's why the lichen didn't belong to any of the five kingdom classification. Hi Manvar, I'm fine. How are you? See, lichens are not ideal organism. They are actually a symbiotic association of algae and fungi. That's why they don't belong to any of the five kingdom classification. Okay, clear with that? Fine. So yeah, now we'll be starting with kingdom Monera, and then we'll study kingdom Protista, and finally we'll be studying the kingdom fungi in depth. Okay, fine. We'll start with kingdom Monera. Like I told you, in kingdom Monera, those living organism whose cell is a prokaryotic and it is made up of single cell. So usually unicellular prokaryotic cells, unicellular prokaryotic fall under kingdom Monera. Okay? Yes, that's the reason. Symbiotic, yes, it is a symbiotic, so this reason, yes, correct. Okay, so it is unicellular prokaryote and it mainly includes bacteria and blue-green algae. Okay, fine. And it is found almost everywhere, that is in the air, soil, water, even in our digestive system it is found. Ankita ma'am's live after this session, maybe somewhere in the afternoon. Vishwa, happy Yugadi all of you. Okay, and then here the nuclear material, the genetic material, DNA is distributed in the cell without being enclosed in the nuclear membrane. I told you, see here the Monera has got prokaryotic cell, which means to say that the nucleus is not well defined. Means the nucleus is not surrounded by any nuclear membrane. So a well-defined nucleus is absent. As a result, what happens? The genetic material is distributed within the cell in one confined region, and that region is called as nucleoid. Right? And along with that, see here, well-defined nucleus is absent. Along with that, the membrane-bound cell organelles are also absent in kingdom Monera, because the nature of the cell is prokaryote. That is the reason. Okay, fine. And then they have cell envelope. Instead, see the cell, this is how the actual cell looks like. The unicellular prokaryote. Okay, here the thing is they are surrounded by a capsule, or it can be slimy layer, and it can be, some have cell wall and even cell membrane. Okay, so the outermost layer is the cell envelope, and then the cell wall is present as well as cell membrane. And here the ribosome is 70S ribosomes are present. And now students, as you go to your 11th standard and 12th standard, you will study about the different types of ribosomes also. In your class 9th, in your class 10th, you had studied that, just you don't know that there are different types of ribosomes, right? And then RNA also, see rRNA, mRNA, tRNA, you will study about all that as you go further. Okay, as of now, understand that in the prokaryotic cell, the ribosome that is present is 70S. Okay, fine. Now, which of the following is not a part of cell envelope in bacteria? Is it nucleoid or is it cell wall? Is it option A or option B? See, which of the following is not a part of cell envelope in bacteria? It is talking about the part of cell envelope. I told you, cell envelope has got slimy layer and then cell wall and then comes cell membrane, right? So now, out of these two, which is not the part of the cell envelope? It is nucleoid. Okay, see, like I told you, the cell envelope in bacteria consists of, it has got capsule, or it is also, it can have capsule, or else it can be slimy layer also, and then there is cell wall and cell membrane present as well. Okay, and then it has got mesosomes. The mesosomes are the folded invagination in the plasma membrane of the bacteria. What is it actually doing? See, these, can you see here? This is the plasma membrane. This is the plasma membrane that is there, the orange color thing, and you can see the inner folding of the plasma membrane. So what is it doing? It increases the surface area, aiding cellular respiration. So here, that is, what is that called as? That is called as mesosome. So here the mesosome is noticed in this bacterial cell, right? What is that? It is actually inner folding of the plasma membrane, which increases the surface area for cellular respiration. Clear with that? So here in the bacterial cell, the respiration occurs in the plasma membrane. Fine? Okay. Next, see, there are, even the bacteria are actually divided into different groups based on the shape of the cell. Okay, the rod-shaped bacteria, are called as bacillus, and then the spherical-shaped bacteria are called as coccus, and then the comma-shaped bacteria, they are called as vibrio, and then over here, see here, the spiral-shaped bacteria are called as spirillum. Yes, yes, Gaurav, in the foldings of the membrane, that the folding part of that plasma membrane, that is called as mesosome. Over there, the cellular respiration occurs. Okay, so this is how, there are different types of bacteria and they are classified into different groups on the basis of the cell shape. Okay, and then Carl Woese, what he did is, he actually modified the 5 kingdom classification, right? There was this kingdom, Monera, right? That kingdom Monera is further divided into 2 classes. One is Archaebacteria and the other one is Eubacteria. So this is the modified version of 5 kingdom classification, wherein the Monera is further classified into 2 groups, right? Okay. So now, which of the following is the function of mesosome in bacteria? So what is the function of mesosome in bacteria? Does it help in the movement or does it help in cellular respiration? What is it doing? I told you that what is mesosome doing? Mesosome is that inner folding of the plasma membrane, right? Does it help in the movement of the cell or does it help in the cellular respiration? Yes, it is option B. It helps in cellular respiration. Okay, fine. So now, which type of ribosomes are present in bacteria? So bacteria, it is a prokaryotic cell. So in the prokaryotic cell, which type of ribosomes are present? Right? And then, what do you mean by the term nucleoid? Krishna, Yugadi is nothing but it is a festival that is celebrated in some part of Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh as well as Maharashtra. It is considered as, New Year kind of celebration, like a festival. Yeah? Okay. So, which type of ribosomes are present in bacteria? Yes, it is 70S. Now, what do you mean by nucleoid? What do you mean by nucleoid? I told you in prokaryotic cell what happens? The well-defined nucleus is absent. Yes, yes, correct. 70 as ribosome is present. See, I told you in case of prokaryotic cell, the well-defined nucleus is absent. Right. So what happens? The genetic material, it is present in it is distributed in particular region. It is confined to one particular region, I would say, and that region is your nucleoid, where the genetic material is not surrounded by any membrane. Okay. Fine. So now I want you all to answer to these questions, right? Which of the following shape is not shown by bacteria? Is it spiral, is it comma shaped, or is it spherical, or none of the above? Which is not shown by bacteria is the question. Which shape is not shown by bacteria? It is, see, all the three is been shown by bacteria, therefore the option D is the right answer. None of the above is the right answer. Okay, fine. Now, which of the following is the sole member of kingdom Monera? Is it virus, or is it protozoa, or is it bacteria, or is it all of the above? See, it is not virus, because virus does not belong to any of the 5 kingdom classification. What about protozoa and what about bacteria? So option D is not the right answer, because see, option A is virus, which does not belong to any of the kingdom, right? So it is either B or C. It is either B or C. So what is the right answer? Is it option B or option C? Yeah, it's fine, Gaurav. Option C? Yes. Correct. Okay. So now, in which one of the following characteristics the members of the Monera kingdom differ from other kingdom? So how does this, the kingdom Monera differs from the other 5 kingdoms, other 4 kingdoms, right? So here, well-defined cell organelles, or is it the presence of nucleoid, or is it the presence of cell membrane, or is it the presence of ribosome? No, not option C. What is the answer for this one? Any guesses? See, I told you, in kingdom Monera, it contains those living organism whose cell is unicellular prokaryote. It is unicellular prokaryote. So what is the characteristic of that, the main characteristic of that prokaryotic cell? What is the right answer? Yeah, I told you, prokaryotic cell does not have well-defined nucleus, right? So it is the presence of nucleoid. Okay, so option B is the right answer. Fine. Okay. Now, in 5 kingdom classification, which single kingdom contains blue-green algae, which is a nitrogen-fixing bacteria and methogenic bacteria? Is it Monera, or is it Protista, or is it Plantae, or is it fungi? Come on, comment your answer in the comment section. So I want you all to think carefully when you are answering to this. Right? So here in 5 kingdom classification, which single kingdom contains blue-green algae, nitrogen-fixing bacteria, and also methanogenic bacteria? Which one? It is Monera. Right? Okay. Fine. Now we'll continue with the kingdom Monera itself. Right? So how was kingdom Monera classified by Carl Wusch? It is further divided into 2 categories, right? Eubacteria and Archaebacteria. So now we'll study about both those, eubacteria as well as Archaebacteria. Yes, Sujata, you are saying option A? Yes, yes. Okay. See, it is Archaebacteria and Eubacteria. Okay. So now we'll study about archaebacteria. Okay. See, now it differs from other bacteria. How? In having a different cell wall structure. And this feature is responsible for the survival in the extreme condition. The thing is, the cell wall will not have any peptidoglycan. Okay, here the cell wall lacks peptidoglycan, and here the cell wall can resist the extreme condition. Remember these two properties. That's why those living organism falls under archaebacteria. The cell wall structure is different. Okay, and then see, they have a special type of lipid that is present in the cell membrane. See, that is about cell wall. Cell wall, here it can resist high temperature, and then they don't have any peptidoglycan. And what about cell membrane? The cell membrane, they have a special, what is your cell membrane made up of? The cell membrane is made up of lipid and protein, right? Now in archaebacteria, the cell membrane has got a special type of lipid that which decreases the membrane fluidity, and this enables them to survive extreme climate. It's because it has got that special type of lipid. What is it doing? It decreases the fluidity, membrane fluidity. That's how when the membrane fluidity is reduced, see here the cell cannot lose anything. The cell content cannot be lost even in the extreme condition. That's how these archaebacteria can tolerate those extreme conditions. They can survive, right? And again, the archaebacteria is classified as allophiles, thermoacidophiles, and also methanogens. See, allophiles are those archaebacteria which can, I told you, they can survive extreme condition, right? See here, these allophiles can survive extreme salinity. They can survive even in the extreme saline condition. See, you all have studied, right, in your class 9th itself. There was this chapter, Cell, the Fundamental Unit of Life. Over there, I had explained you all about the plasma membrane, right? So, I had told you, now the plasma membrane, what happens? The molecules, the substances can, get into the cell. But for the substance to get into the cell, it will have to cross the plasma membrane. And the plasma membrane is a selectively permeable membrane. It won't let every substance to enter inside, but then it will let those substances which are important for the cell to enter inside. Right. See, gaseous molecule and whereas other substances, it diffuses into the cell. Whereas water molecule, it enters into the cell through osmosis, right? And then you all have already studied that when you place the animal cell or plant cell in a saline solution, in a salt solution where the salt concentration is high, water concentration is less. So what happens? Within the cell, the water concentration will be high. As a result, what happens? The water content that is present within the cell, that is nothing but the solvent which is present in higher concentrated region will move to the lower concentrated region. As a result, the cell will lose the water content. Right. As a result, what happens? The cell will shrink, and then the microorganism, the cell will die. Right. Yeah. So here the archaebacteria is classified into 3 types. Halophiles, I was telling you now, when you place the living cell into the salt solution, what happens? The cell will lose the water content. As a result, the cell will die, right? But then here the archaebacteria here that too, those bacteria, those archaebacteria which fall under this category, that is halophiles, they will survive even if you place in the saline condition, because I told you now that archaebacteria, they have resistance towards extreme conditions. Why? One is the cell wall. See, the cell wall, it does not have peptidoglycan layer, and one more thing here, the plasma membrane is it has got a special type of lipid which will decrease the membrane fluidity. As a result, the cell will not lose its water content, the solvent content. Okay, and then the second one is thermoacidophile. They can survive even in hot springs. And then comes the third one is methanogens, which you would have seen them in a marshy area, right? They can tolerate such extreme conditions. Why? It's because of this reason, that is, they have special type of lipid, right, and which decreases the membrane fluidity. That is the main reason. You must know the reason, students, because in your competitive exams, see, always you should be thorough with the concepts. Only then you will be able to answer the questions. They purposely ask you, they will twist the question and they will ask just to make you get confused. So in case if you are thorough with the concept, then you will know, yeah, you won't get confused at all. Right? Yes. Harm conditions live. Yeah. What Gaurav? I didn't get you. Okay. Fine. Next. Yeah, halophiles. See here, they can survive in a high salty salinity condition. I told you, right? Like marsh and also salt lakes and lagoons. Right? Okay, and then thermoacidophiles, they can withstand high temperature as well as low pH as well. Like in your deep seas and also hot water springs, over there you get to see thermoacidophiles. And then methanogens, they are present in region with high amount of methane. Like again marshes and also intestines of the cattle. You get to see such type of, archaebacteria. Fine. Okay, so now which of the following type of bacteria live in extreme salty area? Is it halophiles or is it methanogens? Is it halophile or methanogen? Extreme salty area. Option A or option B? It is halophiles. Okay, fine. Now moving on to eubacteria. See, eubacteria are considered as a true bacteria. Why? Because they have got rigid cell wall, and also they have certain structures that is present in their outer surface of the cell, which helps in movement, which helps in their mobility. They have got this phyla, flagella, which will help them in moving from one place to another place. That's why it is considered as true bacteria. Okay, and here they cannot survive in any extreme condition. See, archaebacteria were those bacteria which was able to survive in extreme condition. It's because what was their, see, their cell wall, the cell wall does not have peptidoglycan, as well as the cell membrane had got a special type of lipid which decreased the fluidity. Because of that, those bacteria were able to survive extreme condition. But in case of eubacteria, what happens is that, see here, the cell wall is made up of peptidoglycan, and also they also have a special type of lipid. Okay, and then they have a rigid cell wall. But then these bacteria cannot withstand extreme condition. Hi Charit. Hi. Okay. So here the mode of nutrition, it can be photosynthetic, chemosynthetic, heterotrophic. Okay, photosynthetic here nothing but, yes, they prepare their own food, and their energy source is solar, sunlight. Whereas in case of chemosynthetic, yes, they prepare their own food. Here the microorganism, they prepare their own food, and they derive their energy from chemical reaction. And then in case of heterotrophic, here the organism is dependent on another life form for their food. Got it? Okay. Next, see here the cyanobacteria. The photosynthetic bacteria is, the best example is the cyanobacteria. They're also known as, see, blue-green algae. The blue-green algae, they have got chlorophyll pigment, which is, see, they are similar to plants. Because they perform photosynthesis as they have got chlorophyll pigment. Okay, and then the chemosynthetic eubacteria, whereas in case of photosynthetic bacteria, the best example is cyanobacteria. They have got chlorophyll pigment, therefore they perform photosynthesis and they prepare their own food. Whereas the chemosynthetic eubacteria here, they use inorganic molecules and convert them into organic substance, and they help in recycling nitrogen, phosphorus and sulfur. They derive nutrients like this. That's why it is considered as chemosynthetic. Example is purple sulfur bacteria and nitrifying bacteria, nothing but nitrobacteria. You get to see this nitrobacteria where? In the leguminous plants, in the root nodules of the leguminous plant, right? They are symbiotically associated with it, right? Okay. And then comes heterotrophic eubacteria. These heterotrophic eubacteria, they can be, saprophytic or parasitic. See, saprophytic in the sense, here the bacteria, it derives their food, their nutrients from the dead matter or else dead decayed matter. Whereas if it is parasitic, then it either live on the host or it will infect the host and then it derives nutrients from the host. Okay, majority of the bacteria like Bacillus subtilis are decomposers. Nothing but they break that dead organism or decomposed matter. Nothing but it is organic into inorganic. Okay, and then Mycobacterium tuberculosis, it causes tuberculosis. So it is parasitic. Mycobacterium tuberculosis is a parasitic, whereas Bacillus subtilis is a saprophytic. Okay, fine. So now I want you all to answer to this. See, which of the following is a type of chemosynthetic bacteria? Is it Mycobacterium tuberculosis or is it Nitrobacter? Chemosynthetic bacteria. Is it Mycobacterium tuberculosis or is it Nitrobacter? Option A or option B? It is option B, Nitrobacter. Okay, fine. Next. What do you mean by chemosynthetic bacteria? And what are the types of archaebacteria? See here, chemosynthetic bacteria. Here the bacteria, yes, they prepare their own food. And their source of energy is chemical reaction. Such bacteria fall under chemosynthetic bacteria, right? Hi Emma. Hi Emma, I'm fine. How are you? Okay. And what are the types of archaebacteria? I told you archaebacteria. There were 3 types. See, archaebacteria are those bacteria which can tolerate extreme conditions like halophilic condition, thermoacidic, methanogens, right? Those were the 3 types of archaebacteria. Okay, fine. So yeah, I have got quiz for you all. Can comment your answers in the comment section. Okay, which of the following are found in extreme saline condition? Is it archaebacteria or is it eubacteria or is it cyanobacteria or is it mycobacteria? See, it is not eubacteria. Eubacteria cannot tolerate extreme condition. It cannot resist those saline or high temperature or acidic environment, right? Whereas your cyanobacteria, it is a photosynthetic bacteria. It falls under eubacteria only. So even option C is ruled out. What about your mycobacteria and what about your archaebacteria? Which can tolerate, which of the following are found in extreme saline condition? It is archaebacteria. I told you now, again, archaebacteria, see, the bacteria can resist extreme condition. Why? It's because the main reason is the cell membrane has got a special type of lipid. That lipid, it reduces the fluidity, cellular fluidity. Okay, and along with that, the cell wall, it is very rigid, and then the cell wall lacks the peptidoglycan. That is the reason. Okay, now methanogens belong to, is it eubacteria archaebacteria, or is it dinoflagellate, or is it slime molds? Where do they belong? Option A, B, C or D. See again, methanogens. See those bacteria which can tolerate that high methane concentration, they fall under methanogens. Okay, so again it is not eubacteria. Eubacteria are also called as true, they are also considered as true bacteria. And eubacteria, they cannot tolerate extreme condition. So this is ruled out. What about option B, C or D? Which is the right answer? Is it option A, B, C or D? Is it option B or option C or option D? Comment your answer. Just think. What is the right answer for this? B? Yes. Archaebacteria. Okay. Now, which of the following is the characteristic of archaebacteria? Are they unicellular, methanogens, prokaryotes, all of the above? Eubacteria, archaebacteria. Yes, they are unicellular. Yes, they are prokaryote. See, Monera has got unicellular prokaryotic living organisms, right? Methanogens were type of archaebacteria. So therefore, all of the above, that is the option D is the right answer. Okay, fine. Next, which of the following types of eubacteria causes tuberculosis? So option A is Mycobacterium tuberculosis, or else is it Bacillus subtilis, or is it Vibrio, or is it Streptococcus? Which of these causes tuberculosis? It is option A, Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Okay, fine. So that was all about kingdom Monera. Now we are moving on to kingdom Protista. Okay, we'll study about kingdom Protista in depth, and then we'll be moving on to kingdom Fungi. Fine? Okay. So here kingdom Protista has got those living organisms whose nature of cell is eukaryote. It is going to be eukaryote. Over here there is no prokaryote. And here it can be majority it is unicellular. Okay, in case if it is multicellular, it is classified into, I told you now, in case if it is eukaryotic multicellular with cell wall, then it can be plantae or fungi. And their mode of nutrition with cell wall and mode of nutrition is saprophytic, then it falls under fungi. And with the cell, with cell wall and mode of nutrition is autotroph, then it fall under kingdom Plantae. And eukaryotic cell, multicellular organism, the cell lacks cell wall and the mode of nutrition is heterotrophic, then it falls under kingdom Animalia. Okay, fine. So here, see, eukaryotic unicellular organism, here Protista, it is derived from a Greek word which means protos, meaning first. Okay, fine. Now what are the features? What are the features of this kingdom Protista? See here, they are simple, they are unicellular eukaryotic organism. Okay, they have a defined nucleus and also membrane bound organelles. Right, because it is a eukaryotic cell, they have well-defined nucleus. Right, so along with that, here it also has got cell organelles which are surrounded by membrane. Okay, and here they also have certain structures present outside the cell which helps in the movement or locomotion of that particular living organism. Like, it occurs with the help of filamentous structures like cilia is present. In case of paramecium, you get to see teacher. And then the whip-like structure called flagella and also pseudopodia, which you will see in amoeba. Okay? Fine. And then the movement in it varies in Protista. Like I told you, paramecium has got cilia. Right, with the help of cilia it moves. Whereas look at this euglena, it has got flagella in it. You can see this flagella, right? It's clear now. So it has got flagella. With the help of flagella, they move, right? But then in Protista, yes, eukaryotic. It is eukaryotic unicellular organism. Plus, they also have certain structure which will help them in the movement. Okay, fine. And also, like the movement in amoeba is with the help of pseudopodia. You have studied about, you have been studying the structure of amoeba since your class maybe 8th or 9th, right? And also you have studied the mode of nutrition in amoeba is, it is holozoic only, right? And then you also, in your class 10th, you have studied that in depth, right? Okay. So now I want you all to comment in the comment section that, say, which of the following Protista has pseudopodia for locomotion? Is it amoeba or is it euglena? Is it amoeba or euglena? It is amoeba. Okay, then, and also some are autotrophs. See here, eukaryotic cell, yes, it is unicellular eukaryotic cell, right? And some are autotrophs, which means to say that they prepare their own food, and some are heterotrophic as well, which means to say that they depend upon other living organism for their food. Okay, some Protista like amoeba and paramecium can digest food like animal. So here, see, they derive their food from outside, so they are not autotrophs, right? So what do they do first? First they will ingest the food, and once the food enters into the cell, within the cell food vacuole is formed wherein the food is digested, and then the digested food is, you know, it is assimilated, it is absorbed and assimilated, and finally the waste material is removed out of the body. That is nothing but egestion, right? And then some Protista like euglena manufacture their own food, which means in the presence of light, which means to say that here the euglena, it is autotrophic. It is photoautotrophic. Why? Because it is utilizing light as the source of energy, right? And in the absence of light, it behaves like heterotrophic. So euglena, it is one such example for behaving like both autotrophic and heterotrophic. In the presence of light, when the light source is available, then the euglena will utilize that energy, light energy, and then that is converted into chemical energy, and then it will break down those inorganic substances into organic. Nothing but they are preparing their own food. It behaves like autotrophs. In the absence of light, it is behaving like heterotrophs. Nothing but it depends upon another life form for their food. Okay, fine. And then the common example of Protista is diatoms as well as amoeba. These are the examples for the common examples of Protista. Okay, and also paramecium, euglena, right? And also entamoeba, right? And some Protista, they are, you know, pathogenic as well, which means to say that they cause infection, right? Now, for example, entamoeba, which causes dysentery, and also plasmodium causes malaria, right? But majorly, so here the Protista, it has got unicellular eukaryotic cell, and then here the mode of nutrition can be autotrophic, it can be heterotrophic, it can be both autotrophic and heterotrophic as well, and it can be parasitic also. It can be parasitic also. Okay, fine. So now which of the following type of nutrition is present in euglena? Is it, see in euglena, is it autotrophic or is it both autotrophic and heterotrophic? Is it autotrophic or is it both autotrophic and heterotrophic? Option A or B? It is option B, both autotrophic and heterotrophic. Okay, I told you na, euglena in the presence of light, it behaves like autotrophs. In the absence of light, it behaves like heterotrophs. No, 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 Gaurav, it is option B. Option B is the right answer. Okay. Now, what are the example of heterotrophic protista? And then, what is the meaning of protista? I've already explained this, right? So now I want you to comment the answer in the comment section, that the example, mention any one example for heterotrophic protista. And what is protista meaning? I told you protista, it is a Greek word. It is derived from a Greek word, which means, I've told you. I just want you all to comment your answer in the comment section. Fine? Okay. So now I've got quiz for you all. Try to answer these questions. Okay. So, which of the following is not a character of protista? Organism with true nucleus, or is it the organism with membrane-bound organelles, or they have naked DNA, or is it a few possess pseudopodia for locomotion? What is not the characteristic of protista? See here. Okay, protista, they have, it is unicellular and it is eukaryotic cell, which means to say that they have true nucleus. Okay, organism with membrane bound organelles, yes, they have membrane bound organelles because they have true nucleus. Okay, they have naked DNA. Is it naked DNA? It's because the DNA is present within the nucleus, so you cannot say that as a naked DNA. And then option D says it possesses pseudopodia for locomotion. Even locomotion is noticed. So your option C is the right answer, because this is not the characteristic of protista. Okay? Fine. Now, euglena, amoeba and diatoms are included in the kingdom. Is it protista, fungi, animalia or monera? See, your euglena, amoeba and diatoms. It is not fungi nor it is your protista. Option A is the right answer. Okay. Now, protista obtain food as? No, it was option A, Gaurav. Option A was the right answer. It's not option C. Now, protista obtain food as? Like, is it photosynthesized or heterotrophs, both A and B, or only parasitic? What is the right answer? It is, can you comment the right answer? Can you comment the answer in the comment section for this question? It is both A and B. Because I told you it is autotrophs also, it can be heterotrophs also. No, yeah, but option D says only parasitic. Yes, parasitic is also observed in this protista, but then see, parasitic, it is also a type of heterotrophic mode of nutrition only, right? So it is autotrophic and heterotrophic, so both A and B is the right answer. Here it says only parasitic is nothing but it means to say that it is only heterotrophic, which is wrong. It is both autotrophic and heterotrophic. So both A and B is the right answer. Okay, fine. So yeah, now we'll continue with the kingdom protista itself. Okay, what are the various locomotory structures in the protista? It had cilia, it had flagella, right? See, it had cilia. In paramecium we saw cilia. It had it in euglena we noticed flagella, and in case of amoeba it was pseudopodia, right? Okay. So now even the protista have been broadly divided into three major groups. One is photosynthetic protista, the second one is consumer protista, the third one is protozoan protista. Okay, so the protista is also classified into three major groups. Okay, see here, mainly the unicellular eukaryotic algae, which is in water body, they prepare their own food. Therefore, it fall under photosynthetic protista. It is similar to plants. Okay, And then they usually grow and cover the surface of the water body. You all would have seen the lakes and all, like when you travel you would have noticed, right, a green layer will be developed on the surface of the lake. That is your algae, right? They prepare their own food. Okay, and then the major producers of aquatic ecosystem. Okay, and example for protista algae are, it is dinoflagellates, diatoms and euglena. These are the examples for your photosynthetic protista. Okay, which is the protista algae, which is a type of photosynthetic protista. Okay, fine. And your diatoms, see, it looks like this. A group of algae that is commonly found in lakes. They have this brownish in color because they have certain pigment that gives this brown color to it. Okay, and then there is the dinoflagellates. Where do you see dinoflagellates mostly? It is seen in marine region. Okay, they can be blue in color, they can be red in color, they can be yellowish or brown in color. And these dinoflagellates, see, diano, which di means two, flagella means, see, it is that the locomotory structure, right, which helps in the movement, right? So here they have this organism, it has got two flagella. So where is this found? It is found near the marine region. They appear like, it can be blue, green, red, yellow, brown as well. Okay, so now which of the following are commonly known as golden algae? Is it diatoms or is it dinoflagellate? See, diatoms, they are brownish in color, yellow to brownish in color. Whereas your dinoflagellates, it can be blue, it can be red, it can be green, it can be yellow, it can be brown as well, right? So which is considered as the golden algae? Is it diatoms or is it dinoflagellates? What is the right answer? It is diatoms. Why? Because they are the group of algae that is commonly found in lake, and they have a special pigment, okay, which provides them that brownish in color. That's why it is also known as golden algae. Okay, fine. Next, euglenoids. The euglenoids, they are like half plant or half animal. Why? Because see, they are aquatic. It is unicellular plus it is free living organism. Okay, and see, it links between plants and animals. Okay, because see, botanists considered algae as plant, whereas zoologists considered the protozoans as animal. That's why this euglenoid is considered as, it is half plant or half animal. Okay, and then slime molds. Here it includes very interesting and peculiar organism which shares characteristic of both animal and fungi. See, just like how we saw in lichen, it had algae and fungi, right? Similarly here slime mold, it has got characteristic of both animal as well as fungi. Okay, so yeah, now which of the following shares the characteristic of both animal and fungi? Is it protozoan or slime mold? Is it option A or option B? Which shares both the characteristics of animal and fungi? Protozoan or slime mold? It is option B. Okay, now which protists are major producers in the aquatic ecosystem? I told you, the photosynthetic one, that is the right answer. Okay, fine. So now which of the following is true for dinoflagellates? See, these show holozoic nutrition, or is the cell wall absent, or is it the example of protozoans are amoeba, euglena and diatom, or none of the above? What is the right answer? Option B. Are you sure, Gaurav? Is it option B? It is none of the above. Okay. And now, which one is not a protozoan protist? Option A says Plasmodium, option B Paramecium, option C Entamoeba, option D E. coli. Which one is not protozoan protist? It is E. coli. Okay, and now the feature that is not suitable to Euglena is that the presence of chlorophyll, or it shows dual mode of feeding, or it is unicellular and motile in nature, or none of the above. Any guesses? What is the right answer? It is none of the above. Okay, so yeah, no, it is option D. So we are done with kingdom Monera and kingdom Protista, and also I've briefly in depth I have explained about, you know, 2 kingdom classification as well as 5 kingdom classification. I've discussed about on what basis this 5 kingdom classification is actually done, right? So yeah, in the next session we'll be continuing with kingdom fungi. Okay, so this is it for today's session, and students, if you have any doubts, feel free to comment in the comment section and I'll get back to you. And don't worry about the notes, all these notes will be provided. Okay, so yeah, and if you have not yet subscribed to our channel, then do subscribe to our channel for much more sessions like this. Once again, happy Ugadi to all of you, and thank you all and have a great day.